morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Wherever you are, welcome. In this clip, I will talk about how to create visual impact. What is visual impact? Well, it refers to how something you see affects you. The stronger the impact, the greater the influence. So the question arises, how can one actually achieve the greatest impact to create the best influence for an occasion? I am Thomas de Bruyne, lead designer at EMC, an international floral education program. Did you notice I used the word greatest? When talking about visual impact, it doesn't mean the strongest visual impact, but rather the one with the greatest influence. I have to say I love to use the term grandeur. It encompasses impact, meaning the impressiveness you create. This can be both huge or small in size when using the best elements to create a certain impact. Doing big events worldwide myself, I always keep in mind the visual impact. Later in this video, I'll give you a great insight on how I do this. Okay, let's continue by diving into this to discover what elements can determine the best visual impact. Let's start with color. Color is a science on its own. Color is the strongest visual language we have on this planet. It can evoke memories and stir emotions, even stimulate reactions in your body. Before choosing a color palette, first consider the why of your arrangement. The right interaction with its surroundings helps you to achieve your purpose of design and thus meeting those expectations of your client. For the event designers amongst us, you have to think about the space for sure. Because darker colors give you a more powerful, a more mystical dimension, while brighter colors give you the illusion of more space in a smaller setting. Color is as strong as the impression it creates. It's a fact that primary colors have a stronger visual impact than other colors. Masculine, bright and vibrant colors are visually stronger than feminine colors such as pastels. Keep in mind, we have to take in consideration how the colors will be perceived by the audience. More information about this topic in one of the videos, what to take in consideration when using color. We now move to form and line. Form is the shape of your design, the physical form of anything that is three-dimensional. When we talk about form, we refer to geometric and organic. Geometric refers more to the masculine forms, which are more static, with square edges, often looking man-made, while organic refers to feminine shapes, more natural and organic, that seems to be created by nature. So it's up to you which one to use to match the right visual impact, a more dominant or rather a softer mood. The same counts for lines. They can be static or dynamic. Static lines have a stronger visual impact than the flowing, softer, dynamic lines in the design. But lines have an extra power as they can create a certain order. At EMC, we see there are 5 possible ways to create an impact using lines in a different way, which finally results in a totally different emotional outcome. A great dynamic is using those static lines in combination with the dynamic lines. It gives us an interesting and a more complex outcome to enjoy, which results in a greater visual impact. Number 4 is texture. We refer to the tactile surface of our botanicals or vases mechanics we use. It's an element that is often overlooked. It has that ability to add interest and detail. Texture gives your design a feeling. Next on the list is space. Space is the volume of a structure, the parts of a building we move through and experience. It's a three-dimensional as it has length, width, and height. We split space into two categories. We've got positive, we've got negative. Positive space is the one containing material objects, while negative space is the open or all empty space. As floral designer, we can say our arrangement has an open or a closed character, referring to negative and positive space. At EMC, we cover this aspect in a great detail as it is a very important characteristic of any design we do. Ultimately, it's up to you to play with these two different categories and find a certain balance to create the right visual impact. Number 6 is pattern. Pattern is created by the use of a repetitive design as lines, botanicals, textures, colors, you name it. Patterns are fun to use and they can bring your design to life with a stronger visual impact. However, don't overdo. 3 different patterns are enough to play within a design. And then last but not least, light. We need light. Without it, we wouldn't see anything, right? Lighting is everything. Lighting creates atmosphere, creates drama and intrigue in a room. It is that magical ingredient that makes or breaks a space and transforms the same room into a unique space, a unique experience. I always keep in mind when doing events that what you light is what you see. This means I light where I want to create a focal area or a focal point in order to create a certain visual impact. I promised you an insight regarding my personal experience. Well, we create visual impact because we want to create tension. In other words, it is visual tension that creates visual interest. And tension is made by the play of contrasts. That's why it's so important to know your language of design, to know those elements and principles of design and how they interact. We at EMC put a lot of attention to this during our advanced course because we know how much of a difference knowing makes. You can download the 7 elements from this video, and I challenge you, or you can challenge yourself when making your next arrangement to implement at least 4 elements of the 7. It will stretch your creative mind and it will give you a better insight on how a design process works. Remember, always try to create the right tension matching the expected outcome with the greatest visual impact. What I always tell my students when having a hard time, a mind that is stretched by new experience can never go back to its old dimensions. Welcome to your next level. Put passion in using the knowledge you have and unleash your creativity.